What's happening, plebs? We out here with another episode of History of the Yu-Gi-Oh player, and this week we have someone who's you guys may have seen in previous videos, our notorious DPYGO here, who, for those of you unfamiliar with,
I guess I'm notorious.
you what?
As I guess I'm notorious. I guess.
So yeah, let's just dive straight in. For those unfamiliar with you, you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're a thing in our glorious Yu-Gi-Oh community.
Brief history. I've been doing these videos on YouTube since since like 2010, and that's as vague as I'll be. But I guess the interview will let you get more detail about me. So we'll just start the interview.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
When did you start playing?
I started September 2002.
Have you always like played, or did you have breaks and stuff? And
No, it was off and on. It was off and on. I've had enough breaks, but I'd say this has been the longest stretch from about early 2007. I started playing again, and then ever since, the videos happened. So, I mean, even if I don't really play, because I don't really play right now, but I stay involved with the game.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna do a little bit more on your actual like YouTube thing, sort of separately, but we'll focus a little bit more on you as a player for now. So I mean, you've been here since the very beginning, really. Is there any reason? I mean, how old are you? Well, you must have been like 22 or something, a little bit younger.
Well, when I started, the YouTube thing.
No. When you started playing, like from the very beginning, so 2002. I mean, you'd be like.
I was 15. I was 15.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you just.
2002 to 2017, 15 years.
Yeah, my math sucks.
Math is hard.
It's so hard for me. I had to use a calculator at regionals to pay 800s. I couldn't do 8,000 minus 800. True story. So when you started playing, you were 15, and I'm assuming it was just from the sort of anime and stuff, and you just kind of got into it from there with friends and shit. Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be a bit more detailed than that. It was partly the show, but it was mainly my brother. Yeah, y'all probably don't know I have one of those. But this was when I was 15. This was like a time where I guess I was sick of being in his shadow, such and such, whatever. But at the time, I was still, all up under him, whatever, metaphorically speaking. So I generally just gravitated towards what he did. Not gonna go into a whole lot of detail with that, but point is, he started playing, I started playing.
Is he older or younger than you? I'm assuming older.
He is older, 363 days older.
Oh, wow. So does he still play? Are you guys like still cool and stuff?
We haven't seen each other in about, what is it, like 9 years. Haven't seen each other in 9 years.
Oh.
But the last time we spoke was, I think, last year or the year before. I don't remember.
So assumingly not about Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Huh?
Assuming not about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh no, it wasn't really that. He has an idea. He knows what I do or whatever. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess that would be like a whole part of a different interview or something. But I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with my personal life, really.
Yeah, it's fair
But
enough.
I'll just say it's not. We don't have the best relationship. That goes for like a lot of my family. So.
Mm-hmm. So when you started playing, I mean, you had this kind of like friendly rivalry thing with your brother. So safe to assume you were a competitive player from the onset, correct?
I would say when I became really competitive is when I came back in 2007.
Oh, okay.
That little, I guess, 2 or 3 year or whatever, I was debating on whether I should be competitive or whatever, or I just do the videos. I was in limbo, but in that, few years or whatever, I mean, you can't really do a whole lot with money. Well, with no money. But I mean, you can now because games changed a bit. But at the time back then, nah. When like Dark Arm was like $300 a piece and Crush Card, and it was a completely different game than it is now. So I could only go so far then. So yeah.
And I suppose you didn't actually ever fork out the amount needed for a pristine dad deck.
Oh no! My main thing was trying to get bus fare for the next day. Because this has been, I guess a lot of people don't know this because I don't share this shit, but like this game has been, I guess, my primary source of income even before the videos. But it was all by choice because I don't like being a subordinate to other people. It's never been a thing I've been a fan of, and I really just despise that shit. So I had rough times, with the bus fare and whatever, and basically living off of it. So when I was selling stuff, I couldn't really be focused on selling stuff to make a living and also playing competitively. That's a contradiction.
And how were you selling stuff? Were you just buying and trading and then working your way up and then selling and then stuff like that, or?
Yeah, all that good old stuff I did. And I'm not the most social person, but I did what I felt I needed to do to get by.
Do you mind elaborating on that, or would you rather not?
I mean, for those that have seen my videos in the past, I mean, I've admitted to like, stealing and stuff like that. I mean, it's part of who I am. Those things, build character. I'm not really proud of them, but I'm not going to say I'm ashamed either. I did those things because I understood that they was wrong, but just because something's wrong doesn't stop a person from doing them. I would just say that fortunately I didn't get in too much trouble from doing it, and I don't push my luck as I may have when I was younger.
So I'm assuming you do regret it to an extent, but
I guess you could say that, but when you get older, you get wiser. And even if I wanted to do it, I know better. And when you're older, you don't really have a whole lot of slack. You don't get cut a whole lot of slack when you get older. So it's not really like, even if I did it, I wouldn't want to take the chance just, having a slap on the wrist. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not even, but that goes back to me focusing more on the videos. I decided to do that rather than doing all that extra shit.
Well, I mean, before you got into the videos, like, was it enough? Like, I mean, did you get by on it?
I got by, but it wasn't. I got tired of doing it mainly because it required me to talk to people. I mean, so it's different. It's different with videos because I do it, and you get the finished product, but I have to, even with my opinions and stuff, and I think this person's a piece of shit or he's stupid, and then it's like I don't want to deal with like people that don't know nothing, and it's like I don't like incompetence, I don't like stupidity or any of that shit. So it's like I can only hold it in for so much, and that type of thing, when it's basically customer service when you're selling cards and trading and stuff, I could only have done it for so much.
Where do you live, by the way? I forgot to ask that.
America.
I mean, like New York or like something like that.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Is that East Coast? I don't know America very well.
That is East Coast, yes.
Right. Okay. Is that like pretty central to like lots of Yu-Gi-Oh like communities and stuff? Like, was there like a lot of like thriving locals and things when you were growing up, or?
This is going back 15 years. I didn't know a whole lot of locals back then, but I will say now there are enough locals around. There were more in the past, but shit changes.
Yeah. And going back a little bit further as well, sorry. When you came back into the game, what actually made you come back? Was there, like, I mean, I know you started because of your brother and stuff, but like when you took a break, first of all, I actually kind of skipped on like why you took a break in the first place, and then second of all, why you came back.
Oh, the break was because I don't know if you've heard about something like Job Corps, about like something like Job Corps. It's like vocational school, but you live there or you can live on campus, quote unquote, whatever. Point is, I went there for like it wasn't 2 years, but it was like a year and some change, at least a year and a half. And while I was there, I gave the cards that I did have, but then again, I wasn't that good, so it's like whatever. And I guess I experienced life because my life has, for the most part, been somewhat sheltered. And I guess the whole Job Corps experience basically opened my eyes to life as it were.
Mm.
So that was that break. And then when I came back home, quote unquote. Same people, same locals. The whole Yugi thing, and I started playing again, quote unquote. But it took. I had to relearn the game because the game changed so much.
Yeah, I can imagine. Um, but what? Why did you come back? Like, what was it that pulled you in?
I guess I ain't really have shit else to do. I think that was. I think that had more to do with it than anything.
Yeah.
And
So when you came back to it, like, what was how did you feel the game? Like, was that around the time that Upper Deck was a thing, or there was a transition? Was that, I think that was 2007, wasn't it?
it was Upper Deck was still in control of it. I don't remember specifically when the change happened. I don't give a shit, but it was when Upper Deck was, in charge of that.
Mm. So when you came back, like, what was the first thing you started doing? I mean, like, you come into this like dad format and shit's pretty crazy. So what were you trying to do? Like, did you have goals? Did you have, like, things that you set out to do when you come back?
I was more focused on at the time that I had a team, bad move, with me and two other people, and it was mainly just trading and selling and stuff like that, and that's how I was able to make my living. But I wanted to do like I wanted the whole idea of being I guess celebrated as a good player and going to events and stuff. I wasn't making money like that, but that time I was just I guess it was more about making the money, uh, living off of it, but I didn't want to do it forever. So it was just me doing that, but I couldn't do anything else because I didn't make enough.
Mm. So I mean, your intention was to essentially just make a living.
Well, I'm a elaborate a bit more on this. So I say I started YouTube in 2010, but technically my channel was started October 2008. And in the beginning, I was recording other people. I say I started in 2010 because I started recording my self talk. Because originally I didn't like being in front of the camera. Surprise. So at this time, this was before like 2010 or whatever. I'm still trying to. I learned of the prospect of making money from doing videos. This was a bit of a daunting task because I've always been like reserved and shy and whatever. So doing that, and I wanted to basically get to the point where I'm at now. I
Yeah.
just didn't know how long it would take. So it was from 2008. I had the team, quote unquote, whatever. I'm still trying to, live and whatever, and I'm still trying to, you know, make that motherfucking De Niro. All right. So, like, I was trying to do it. I didn't realize how long it would take, but so that's so there's the overlap there.
I think it's interesting because you haven't really told us much about, like, your competitive play. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh has essentially just been, you know, a job.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
It hasn't. It's like because I I wanted to be competitive, and it would be nice to be competitive, but knowing what I know now, and I'll be looking at market watches and stuff, shit just be happen in not even 24 hours, and I'll just be like, man, fuck this deck. Like, fuck these cards. These videos are free. I'll do the videos for free. I like the game and all, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to do videos on this game, because I do like the game, but I'm not playing this game with these cards costing so much. It's fucking retarded.
What do you think about the game, like mechanically, like over the years? Like, I mean, do you feel like there was like a golden period, or, I mean, why do you say what you say?
I like the fact that the game changes enough. I'm not one of these people that are really stuck on nostalgia. Obviously, things were different back then because there wasn't a whole lot of shit back then, and obviously you got to be eased into more complicated stuff. I don't really have a huge issue with the game as a whole. I think the game is fine as long as they keep coming out with anime series, and that means more sets, which means another mechanic, which means I can keep doing videos on this shit. That's all I really care about. Like, as long I got another 2 years, all right, cool.
Are you like, yeah, what's the word? I mean, other than your YouTube right now, I mean, I'm assuming you're fine, like financially, right? So, I mean, do you feel like you have like time for Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, I mean, you say you don't really play now, but I mean, do you think you have it in you to go back and, like, you know, to locals and start competing, or?
So here's the problem with that. I would say I have pretty expensive taste. If I was going to play it back and cards weren't an issue to get, I'd have like the 3D barrier and everything. I'd have just, I'm not necessarily, I don't really care too much about rarity as long as it's the card and it does what it does, but I'd play 3D barrier and everything. But then again, it goes back to how the game is now, where it's not necessarily really interesting to play. It's like, okay, you go first, you get your boards, you had the D barrier, you have the things to stop me going second from fucking you up. It's like, oh, fun game. It's not though. It's not really enjoyable, but I wouldn't, like, it's not interesting enough for me to go get the money, like spend the money on that to play a game where it's really not interesting. I mean, unless they change the shit. Unless they change that shit in the future. But right now, it's like, nah, I'm not even.
Is there a specific period in time of Yu-Gi-Oh that you feel is like, I mean, when did you play like most, like, or, you know, I mean, I know you were like trading and stuff for most of the time, but was there ever like a particular format that you kind of just sat down and were like, hey, I'm really enjoying this. This is cool.
I played Glad Beast. I played them before they were good, when they were good, when they were like tier 1 with the cold weight. I played all that. That shit was not fair, but I played that. That was, I guess you could, it was fun, I guess. It wasn't fair cold waving and blowing up shit with Gazeras. That's not fun. But I kept doing it though. It was, but that was 2008 or around that time. I don't remember specifically when, but I know Light of Destruction came out in 2008 and Gazeras came out in there. And then the set after was Duelist Genesis, I think, and then Chariot came out. And shortly after that, I put the deck away. Mainly because I sold it.
Did you ever attend any like big events?
Not a lot. The last one I attended was YCS Philly in, was it 2011?
It's a long time ago.
I've been doing my videos, man.
Do you think you'll ever go to an event purely just to, like, you know, meet your fans?
Yeah, that may happen. It will more likely happen now. It will happen. I'll do that strictly for that. Yeah, won't be happening, you know, for like the next YCS, but it'll happen. I'll guarantee that much. It will happen eventually.
We're gonna see you at like nationals this year.
And where is it?
I have no idea. Does the location matter for you, or will you not travel?
Depends on the location.
What's the closest like Yu-Gi-Oh hotspot for you? Because, like, I mean, YCSs tend to be like in the same sort of areas and provinces. Like, well, what's the nearest one to you?
Philadelphia. Philadelphia is pretty close.
YCS Philly. What other East Coast YCSs do America usually have?
In Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Yeah, I mean that's this month. Are you gonna go there?
No,
Okay.
no. I would have had to plan ahead of time if I was going to do that, and I haven't done any planning, so I'm not going to do last minute shit.
Okay. All right. So onto your YouTube now. You say you started it in 2008. You didn't probably start doing what you do now until 2010. Tell us a little bit about that 2008 2010 period. What exactly were you doing with your channel? Is it the same channel, or did you restart it in 2010? I'm assuming you've just had the same channel.
No, it's the same channel.
Hmm.
It's the same channel. I just obviously changed the name. So when I first started, I was just recording other people,
Like live duels,
and
or
it was at the time I didn't. There was no structure to what I was doing, so I was just doing the shit, and and there was a lot to learn about the whole YouTube thing, but I was just recording wherever I was, local, whatever. I don't even remember the shit I was recording. It's been so long, and I clearly deleted those videos. But I wouldn't really. That's why I say like I don't really consider that really anything till 2010 when I was outside out front the library and I was talking, and I guess that's where the views came in and whatever. But yeah, I mean it's not. There's not a whole lot to mention about that. I don't think it is.
was that hard for you? Like sitting down to talk. I mean, you mentioned that you're really reserved and stuff. Like, it must have been pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, back then, yeah. Then
Mm.
there'd be people because I would do it because I guess the way, I guess how where I was living, I couldn't necessarily do videos inside or whatever. So had to be outside, subject to the public looking at me and shit. And I didn't want to be too quiet, but you want to be quiet enough so they don't hear you. It's just like eventually it just got to the point like whatever, So it was hard in the beginning, but I powered through that shit.
I can't even do it myself. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, just even as a YouTuber now, I really struggle to just like talk into a camera sometimes. It's weird. But
Yeah, it is definitely a struggle. It is, but I'm still, even with me doing what I do now, I'm still reserved and whatnot. But I'm more willing to talk in public
mm,
nowadays. But that hasn't stopped me from being reserved or anything. I don't think that ever goes away if you're like that naturally.
yeah. So what were your original videos about? Like when you started talking to the camera and stuff, trying to like really get out there in 2010. Like, were you just what were your main topics?
It was My main topics were pro players, air quotes. This was this, and I'm not proud of these. I was just talking about people. Like one person in particular was Jarrell Winston. It was not even. It wasn't even. Oh my god! I remember this pros like Adam Corn. That was like my first video that broke like 1,000 views or some shit like that. And I was like, oh really? I'm gonna keep doing this shit. Then but it was. I would talk about cards in particular. I would talk about basically everything, I guess, but not actually everything. It was a lot more than I do now. Now I limit or I contain my video content to mainly be about cards and shit. I don't really bother talking about other people because they don't really matter. I like to keep my subject matter relevant, and the cards are relevant, not necessarily people.
That's something I noticed about your channel. Is like it's you do this one thing, with the cards. You don't talk about events. You don't do profiles. You don't do live games. You just do cards. Like, I feel like you've isolated yourself almost to like this one specific market.
I mean, I have I will do profiles, but it don't happen often. If I do talk about an event, it would be in the same fashion I do cards. you see my shit, so you know basically what I do. So it would be that's my style. I think it obviously works for me, and I don't have really an issue with doing it. So it's I can see why you say that I've isolated myself, but I feel like I've been doing this for long enough, and I've tried enough shit. I'm cool with just talking about the cards. Fuck all the other people. The deck profiles, get that from somebody. A lot of motherfuckers do it. You do it your damn self. A lot of motherfuckers do deck profiles. A lot of motherfuckers talk about extra shit, the shit that I've talked about in the past. I just try to keep it strictly to the cards. And this is just coming from experience.
Mm. So back in the early days, I remember I have watched your other channel, for example, and you mentioned some stuff about how you try to draw attention to yourself, shall we say, to get up there in the YouTube world. Would you like to tell us about that?
What in particular you talk about?
I can't even remember now, but I think you used to like just try and sort of call out people.
Yeah, that was part of the thing with the I would do that to get attention.
Well, exactly.
I wasn't really comfortable with it. I wasn't comfortable with doing it, but I did it because I cared at that time. I cared about views, and I cared about views equating to money. Obviously, not necessarily the case, or back then it wasn't, because it was harder to become partner back then.
Yeah.
But I did it.
What kind of stuff did you used to say? Because I mean, I have no idea.
That was like years ago. Okay, how would I?
I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
No.
But
so my thing, because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know specifically what I was talking about, but I would just talk about shit that ain't had nothing to do with me. You know how people put themselves in a position or in a situation they got nothing to do with,
mm-hmm.
and they give you their opinion even though nobody asked.
you were that guy.
I was one of those people. Yeah.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah.
So, over the years, you've every YouTuber has like what I guess you could call like growth spurts and stuff, where you kind of grow, stagnate a little, but then like there's always like this one like video or like period of time where you just start skyrocketing like in the hundreds like per like week, and then like thousands. So would you say what have been your periods in time for your channel that you've just been like, well shit, I'm getting all these views from X video, for example?
One video, I'm experiencing that shit like in the past 5 months.
You have or haven't? Did you say?
I have. Like this is new shit to me. But
oh, really?
I kind of understand why it's happening, or I have an idea on why it's happening, because I actually put effort into my shit now. But yeah, like since like August of 2016, I was like, what? Like this is at least 10,000 a day. This is like foreign shit to me, especially for how long I've been doing it. But obviously things got in the way of that, so things happen for a reason, I guess.
And what about in the past? What have been like some big breaks for your channel?
I remember the first video, whatever, I touched on it earlier, about Adam Corn. That was the first pro player, whoever I talked about, and that broke 1,000, which I was surprised as shit. When I went on that little role in talking about pro players, whatever, I was getting consistent views with that, because I guess people wanted to just not necessarily hear me talk real shit, but just me making an ass of myself, because that's what I did. But other than that, it hasn't really been. It's been that time where there was like a real significant spike, and then just these past few months.
So you just like consistently just growing like over the years then?
I guess, but I think that I should have just started the editing the way I do it now. I should have did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But again, things happen for a reason.
And for other than like growing and stuff, a lot of YouTubers tend to like branch out to like different sort of like trends or try different things or network? Was there ever like anything that you tried to do that was really outside of your comfort zone with your channel?
Hmm. Can't say I've done that a whole lot. I did try. This was way back though. I put up other video like non Yu-Gi-Oh related content. That was dumb. Obviously got deleted. But I want to keep it, and this has been pretty consistent with me. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh based channel. People come here for whatever reason, but it's for Yu-Gi. So I keep it Yu-Gi. If I'm going to make another channel, which I haven't, the ones that I did make, I deleted. But I want to keep it Yu-Gi, and that's really what I've done. I think I've succeeded with that. So.
Mm-hmm. Was what else have been some of your rough patches in YouTube? Because I swear, like, there's been a good solid like 3 or 4 like times where I've just been like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't like the attention. I don't like the work involved. Just I'm frustrated. I'm stagnated by all this. Like, I'm being shit talked. There's so many periods where it's just like I fucking give up. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, I've had those moments, but I think that one of the significant differences with me, as opposed to other people, is that the the YouTube shit and my personal life went hand in hand. So when I was feeling like, the even though I was getting views at the time and whatever, talking about pro players, it wasn't really equating to money. And so I'm feeling like, because I made a decision. 2011, I went back to school, but then I was at a crossroads. I'm like this. I don't want to go back to school. I didn't want to do it. What I wanted to do was, do the YouTube thing full time and see what happens. And I say that because my life has been pretty easy. I would like to believe I'm somewhat intelligent. No, I'm pretty damn intelligent. But a lot of things, come natural to intelligent people. So you generally don't have to work for a whole lot. So with me, this is the one thing that I've had to work for. It didn't just happen immediately. Yeah. So in my situation, it was just getting, I guess, the strength to, even with the shit talking and the beefs and whatever shit, this was the first time where I was like, even with all the hardship I went through, blood, sweat, and tears, like basically literally throughout all the years, I wanted to do this. And I guess that's what kept me going. Like, I wanted to kick the bucket a few times. Actually, I guess I didn't attempt it good enough. Suicide thing. I didn't attempt it good enough where I didn't want to die that much. But I definitely felt like that a lot.
Well, that was 0 to 100 real quick.
Well, whatever.
I mean, whatever. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, as long as things are better now and you are where you are.
Now. I mean, they're better now, and I think these things that happen, they're part of who I am. So even like I'm not out there with it, but since the topic was brought up, why not bring it up? It's not a big deal to me. Whatever. I already had my share of people talking about it. Like, whatever. I did that. Your point? Like, just they don't know what I went through, how I felt at the time, and nobody really does. The only person that knows how a person feels is them when they're experiencing it. So you kind of get the understanding that people are going to say stuff based on their position, not yours. It isn't like they can have an out-of-body experience and really feel how you feel. So that's just part of being a public figure in some capacity.
Do you still like being in the public so much?
I not really, but I understand that's what comes with the territory.
Did you ever consider being an anonymous YouTuber? Like, for example, I think Yu-Gi-Oh for Real Men or something is something that a name that people bring up a lot. Did you ever consider taking that kind of route maybe?
I thought about it, obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'll, I'll say this: I am reserved and stuff, but I want people to know me, to see me, me as an individual, not as a person or being attached to something that they can't see or whatever. So when you see me, this is who I am. I'm not going to hide and like I said, like me choosing to put myself on camera is a part of, my personal development. All of this shit ties hand in hand. So me doing that, I thought about being anonymous, but eventually I would have just got tired of recording other people. Like that's just I would have got tired of it, or not putting myself on camera. I would have got tired of it.
All right. Did you ever have any role models per se, or people that you really thought were really, super entertaining, channels that you kind of wanted to be like? Because I mean, when you think about 2010, that's very early. Like that's pretty early for even YouTube. Never mind like YouTube. So there wasn't a whole lot of options back then. Do you feel like there was anyone that you kind of looked at and thought, oh yeah, I could do that, or they're cool. I find them funny or entertaining.
Let me think. The problem is with me, I don't watch other people because I think they're entertaining. So that was the same thing as it was in 2010. I I watch them because they are, in for most intents and purposes, my competition. But that's like the closest thing I can really say to it, because it's not really competition. But you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's I just watch or listen to because I might be playing like a game on Xbox One or something, or whatever, and I'm just listening to it or whatever. But I just listen to what they say. If they say anything interesting, all right, that's great. But it's not really enjoyment. I mean, obviously there were people like, I guess, Asian Persuasion at the time, Dub K Dad, who else? Robbie, Robbie Cole. He was. I've never said he would. I never said these people were entertaining. Just they were. I want to. They had a lot of views. I was like, that'd be nice if I had those. But then again, this was 2010.
Was it never just like one channel that you just really enjoyed, like just for watching? Just that someone that
Not
you could just
really.
binge watch.
Not really, nah. And if I binge watched, it wasn't because I was like, this is some great nah, it was nah. It was, I guess, I was just like, I was a sponge. I was just trying to learn it.
Mm. Okay. Um. Yeah. So we're approaching Q&A, I guess. So one thing that I wanted to bring up as well, and probably what a lot of people want to know about. You're a very controversial figure. You're someone that's been in that drama scene a little bit. Do you feel like there's anything that you want to give us a story about?
About what in particular?
Well,
Obviously, you're going to bring up Randall, but besides him,
that's the only one I actually know about. So I mean, if you feel like there's more, you feel free to tell us. But I guess we can begin with that one for the warm up, or should that be like the finale? It's up to you.
I don't know. That's up to you. This is your interview. Whatever.
Can you
You're
think of
supposed to
any
have
other like?
questions,
Can you feel like there's any other major drama scenes that you've been in? I mean, with the stealing, for example, let's go to that. Surely someone must have like caught you. Like maybe not like the authorities, but like someone must have been like, "Hey, you fucking took my binder or whatever." Did that never like happen?
I'm not going to say that I was a pretty good thief, but I will say that I've been pretty careful of who I stole from. That has not happened to me. This is what goes back, like, but it's never been like I've never been like exposed on YouTube for doing something like that. But it's never been that bad, and I'm glad it hasn't been.
Well,
It hasn't. Yeah, like it's okay. But since okay, elephant in the room, address Randall, right?
all right, let's go with the elephant.
Okay. So what I like to have a bit of direction for what I want to like, what I'm supposed to talk about here. So
Well, first of all, how do you know him, or how did you know him from the beginning?
it was strictly YouTube.
For anyone curious, Randall is mega capital G, so or mega capital L, as we like to refer to him after that last.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, how did you guys know each other? So through YouTube, you guys were like peers, so to say.
I mean, I guess naturally because we talk about the same game, you would think we're peers. But I think, and I think the reason this whole thing started was because I think it was like 2012 or something, and or whenever windups were good or something. I don't remember. I think I was talking about a windup something. Don't know what the fuck it was, but it was a windup, whatever. And I think he mentioned me in his video saying that I was stupid or whatever. Now back then, 2012, all right, I was I wasn't so calm and collective as I am now, and now I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. I think it had more to do with him just, calling me whatever for saying something different. Now, to be fair, I did say things primarily to ruffle people's feathers, not necessarily because I truly believe these things. That's what he kind of does. But I didn't appreciate him. I felt that I was being disrespected or whatever. Now I don't know what happened after that, but obviously things as y'all might have gathered from I guess the last time or whatever he brought it up or something, he's saying I wanted to like stab him and stuff and whatever. Yeah, I meant that. That was shit was real. I'm not saying I'm from the streets or nothing. I'm not. I'm a county motherfucker. I like peace and serenity. But he to me, he's the type of person I can't be friends with. I don't, and this is him now. Even with what was it last week when we had the quote unquote conversation. Somebody like him that you heard what he was saying, the way that he was saying and carrying on and stuff like that, and that was the reason why I came at him the way that I did. I don't like people like that. I don't like that, and even though like I don't really say anything, I stick straight to my videos. I'm not in other people's comments. I don't do any of that. But just a person like him, I'm not gonna say that I'm just gonna swing on him when I see him. Nah, it's nothing like that. It's just when you don't like a certain type of person and that person fits that description, doesn't mean you hate him. It's just like, no, he's that guy. I don't.
And where did it all begin? So this wind up video, he said he thought you were stupid for this video.
There was something. There's something. That's the thing. Like it was years ago. But even with that, I say this now. I'm saying this from seeing what he does and paying attention to the way he speaks, the way he carries himself in his videos. Just basically everything about him or the way that he presents himself on YouTube. It shows me a person that I don't like. And so he was like, I want to be cool with everybody. You can't be cool with everybody. I don't hate him. It's just, certain people you just don't really care for. I don't really care for him. And that was why, and that's why that's the reason why I went off, quote unquote, the way that I did with him. Because I saw that y'all were trying to tell him, y'all were trying to say something, but y'all wasn't really saying it. And I got tired of him being a bitch. So I just told him straight up. That's how I felt. I could have probably handled it differently. I chose not to.
Do you feel like that was because of some past like stuff between you just boiling up again?
It was mostly, I guess, in the past, but it was fairly recent. Okay, so it kind of sort of started again with, I guess, what was it? Was you on that call with Asian Eyes? or whatever, and y'all were talking about, I was brought up, and then he said, he brought up a thing about me wanting to, like, stab him or something, whatever shit. That was the thing, and I'm just like, why am I being brought up? And then I think the time before, I guess the conversation we had last week, then I'm brought up again. And then he did the video talking about the community, some shit. Then I'm brought up again. I'm like, we had an agreement that we were just going to do what we do and not have each other's name in our mouth. And if did, it wouldn't be in a negative light. And I'm sitting here like, why am I being brought up? It's been years. It's been years. Ain't been no beef with us, but he's bringing me up again. And I'm wondering, why are you bringing me up? And that was, there was only I could only be quiet for so long, or I only chose to be quiet for so long.
So from the onset, however, you haven't actually told us like what happened. Like how this whole thing like unfolded. Like how did it go from like a call out on a video to threats to the peacemaking process?
I think you're wanting something that isn't there. I think you're wanting it's.
Was it really that simple? Like he called you out?
I'm gonna say it was mostly me, and it wasn't necessarily him for saying what he was saying. It was stuff that I was going through at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I was pretty volatile at the time, and so simple things would tick me off. And what I'm saying now, the things that I don't like about him, is me being logical and me growing and maturing as a person and knowing I don't want to be around or associate with a person like him. I don't. It's not even him. He's not even special. It's like people like him I don't like. He's not unique. He's like other people. I don't like dealing with those types of people. He just happens to fit that criteria.
Did you guys ever see each other in person, like at events or anything?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, we haven't seen each other in events, but we had a Skype conversation that was supposed to squash, quote unquote, whatever beef. And my thing was back then is that I guess my issue then, or one of the things I remember, was he wasn't sincere. He wasn't genuine in the stuff that he was saying. He would, I'm not saying that he would hype shit on purpose, regardless if he felt a way about it sincerely, but he did that. Now, I didn't necessarily like that, but then again, this is around a time where shit was happening in my personal life, but we basically agreed to just, all right, that's what you do, fine. I didn't like it, but whatever, what can I do? I can't control nobody, but, even to this day, it's like I watch his stuff, not because I enjoy it, but as I said before, I just watch people that are within the group or within the community. I just do that information gathering or something. But,
well, you guys heard it here. That is the story of Mega Capital L and DP.
Mega Capital L. That's funny. Like, I feel like he been getting the dick ever since what was it, last week? Yeah, like ever since he just been.
I mean, we never had anything personal at all. Like as far as I'm concerned, he's an okay guy and stuff. But just the bit, like purely from like the argument perspective, how he's talking shit about the community and stuff. Like, and we all kind of like debated him on that. Like, he was really just him against like everyone else. So it was literally just a four fucking hour like roast fest of like why you're wrong and why we're right, basically. So. It wasn't me who came up with that meme, by the way. Like, everyone else started.
I believe it.
So, for everyone in the chat, this is where we get to the Q&A time. After I just asked like one more question. So start throwing out your questions here for the next 10-15 minutes or so. DPU is gonna basically just answer anything you guys gonna throw at us. So, in the meantime, um, my final question really to you is, where do you go from now? Like, do you have long-term goals for the future? How long do you want to do this YouTube shindig for, or what's next essentially for you?
Well, I don't have any children. I don't have a bitch to spend my money on. So I'm going to ride this YouTube thing out because I've invested enough time and, my life into it. I think it would be pretty damn stupid to just quit. So that's for the foreseeable future. That is what I'm gonna do. I'm not going anywhere, YouTube wise.
So, going to the questions here in the chat then. First question here by Nimnim. Don't know if you've heard of him. One of my favorite.
I know who he is.
Oh yeah, you were with him in the call. Actually, I forgot about that.
I know who he is.
He says, "What's next for your channel, and what content?" Oh wait, no, I read that wrong. Yeah. So what are the next steps for your channel specifically?
Be more specific.
You tell us, man. It's your channel. Like, do you feel like you'll be doing new stuff, or like, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep just doing the whole card thing, or you want to try new stuff, or do you have ideas planned?
I'll put it this way. I'm not okay. Know how people post update videos and shit talking about this is what I plan to do, and I'm not that type. So if there's something new to happen, I'm not going to tell you about it. You'll just see it. Okay. So indirectly, I'm answering the question. Yes, I'm thinking of new things, and perhaps they may be new things in the future, but I'm not going to tell you specifically what those things are or a timestamp.
But you do definitely have like ideas, like brewing.
I got enough of them, yeah.
All right, that's cool. To be continued. Let's see. How have your feelings towards Lithium changed? You mentioned that you won't collab with him in the future, but has your opinion changed? So apparently this was brought up a few times in the chat, but I kind of skimmed over it. Did you have a thing with Lithium, or?
No. Okay, people got this fucked up. All right. At a time I was doing Q&A, and somebody brought up Lithium. If there was a channel that I enjoy, remember I talked about the whole enjoyment thing. I would collaborate with him, but I'm not collaborating with anyone. So if it would be somebody to collaborate with, well, I clearly collaborated with you with this interview. Yeah, Lithium seems like a decent guy. He doesn't, indulge in the BS, and that's cool. And that, at least when it comes to that whole idea of collaboration, that goes a long way. So if I am going to collaborate with him, it could happen, but I don't intend to. There's no beef with me and him. No, I think we pretty cool. He tries not to say my quotes and stuff. I understand. I know they fucking catchy and infectious. I see you, Lithium.
Let's see. A lot of the stuff that people are asking has kind of already been addressed throughout the video. So, what is your favorite deck that you've played? I'm going to assume was Glad Beasts, then, correct?
We talking competitively here?
Well, that's all the question says, so take it how you will. Interpret it for what you feel you want to answer.
Okay. Yeah, that's very specific. I'll say this: I have a lot of favorite decks or decks that I like or archetypes, but I haven't played them because they cost too much. For example, Mermails, I like that. Gislin's adorable. I played Madolche. That's still one of my favorite shit. A lot of them are cute, by the way. You could probably tell that. What other shit? I would like Wind Witches, but there's only 3 of them bitches in the main deck. What else? I can't think of anything right now, but for the most part, if the archetype is good and there's cute shit in it, I probably like it.
Do you still actually own cards, by the way? Like, do you have physical cards still?
I do, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Is it just like collection stuff, or is it actually like some relevant cards?
I have a fair amount of relevant cards, but most of my cards are like, I have like a cute collection that I will never finish. But Yeah, I have stuff. I'm trying to make True Kings. I'm trying to make them, but I don't think that's gonna happen because I'm gonna need like 3 Ghost Dash and just stuff. But I'm going to try to do it. So the next deck that I want to play that I'm really like into playing is mainly because the VFD is True Kings, not True Draco. True King. Okay, that's
All right.
yes.
So, what hobbies do you have outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, video games, anime, music choice, and apparently they mentioned instruments as well. Do you play an instrument?
I don't, and I don't watch anime. Surprise.
Oh, really? I assumed you did because I think you mentioned it earlier or something. Okay, cool. All right. So, what do you
No,
do
I
other than this?
don't. All right, the main thing I do throughout the day. All right, so in the morning, I do my video. You know, the video that's all lovely and edited. I do that in the morning. Script, whatever. Sometimes I start the script the night before. All right, so go to sleep. I wake up early. I do the script, knock that out, record, edit. That takes some hours. Then I'm done. I'm done. I guess at this point I'm pretty much done before like 2 o'clock. So after that, I'm sitting here. You know, I'll have Twitch on. You know, my Xbox One. I have Twitch on. I might play some Watch Dogs 2. I bought it for $30. Hell of a deal. I'll play that. There'll be Twitch on the TV on my laptop. I'm looking at other people's videos. I'm,
What do you watch on Twitch?
browsing the Reddit. It's usually Hearthstone streams.
Oh, okay. Do you play?
I did 3 years ago, but
Mm.
most of my time and energy is into my videos. So when I'm not doing videos, and when I take the occasional day off, I'm still doing videos. Like for instance, like today, I did the what the fuck was the video I did? Damn, I forgot that fast. That's a damn shame. Damn shame. All right, Symphonic Warriors, right? So TG finally got Symphonic Warriors. So I did that yesterday. I took the day off yesterday, but I was writing the script out for that, making sure it was right. So even when I don't actually upload a video, I'm still working. So most of my time is involved with doing these videos and making sure they're right. So I don't have a whole lot of a personal life. Sometimes I'll go to a locals, quote unquote, but a lot of times it takes too much time out of the day where I could just make sure my shit's right. Priorities. So
Do you go to locals?
occasionally, yes. I haven't been going as much as I used to, but I do go on occasion.
Do you go to compete or do you go to meet people or?
I guess it's the closest thing to a social outing that I'll get because I'm not a social person.
Okay. Next question has been spammed like 5 times, but apparently he's really determined to find out. If you had to burn any Yu-Gi-Oh card or archetype that you hated, which card or archetype would you burn?
Insectors?
Okay, I liked how quick that was.
I don't understand why they made them shits not once a turn. I understand at the time, but fuck that archetype. That shit's just dumb.
Injectors seem very fair today compared to most stuff.
Now they're fair. Yeah, now they're fair, but in 2012, nah. They're fair now, but not in 2012. That shit, you couldn't do nothing without your shit getting blown up.
Let's see, what else do we have here? What are some aspects of the game that you enjoy?
I like the simplicity to a degree. I like
This game isn't simple.
well, I think in comparison to Magic the Gathering, it's pretty simple.
Really? I hear people talk about Magic being way simpler than Yu-Gi-Oh. Like chain links and like these fucking just missing the timing and all this
But
shit.
I think that has more. I think that has more with me being involved in Yugi like that. To me, it's not really overly complicated. I mean, certain words matter if and when and all that other stuff. But to me, because I've been in the game so long, it's
Yeah, I mean
guess, like,
it is second nature for you.
yeah, because I've been So I do. I like how relatively unique it is. I'll just start with that. Let's not do the simple thing. it's relatively unique for card games because other card games usually mirror Magic the Gathering or whatever, but this one's pretty unique
Yeah.
considering.
One question that I wanted to ask as well, since I'm probably going to wrap up soon, since it's getting quite late, and we've probably hit our target of 1 hour now.
Okay.
What are some of the like major differences between Yu-Gi-Oh like today and back, when you were sort of playing more, that you feel were good and bad aspects? So like what are the bad things about today? You kind of touched on a bit earlier with like the whole vomit your hand out, make a big board. But what are some of like the good aspects mechanically that you really enjoyed back in the day?
I don't really see there being a lot of mechanics back in the day. That's
Well, maybe not like mechanics, but maybe just like the way the game's played, like the concepts. Like for example, it was very like GOAT format. Like the best play in that format was like fucking Pot of Greed set Magician Pass. Today the best play is fucking 300 steps long. You could write fucking essay on like the best combo today. So things are obviously very different.
yeah.
But in terms of like how the game is played and even just anything like social aspect or whatever it is that comes to your mind, like what are some of the, if you put on your rose tinted nostalgia glasses, like what are some things you like miss that just aren't the case like anymore?
I guess this kind of fits, but I wish I didn't know so much. Like
You,
I kind of wish I was ignorant because when you don't know stuff, things seem to be a bit more enjoyable. And that kind of with me it kind of flies with Yugi because there's a story I don't like telling, but it's so remember Emergency Teleport, the Duelist Genesis came out, Emergency Teleport. Oh my God, tell her that, right? Yeah. So I wanted to build a psychic deck, all psychic, and I bought Emergency Teleports for 30 each. Okay, $90. The week later, got limited. So when I had them emerging teleports, it was like, yeah, I got them, I can make the deck. But week later, right? So it's like now it's on one hand, I like the fact that we have the news, like Yu-Gi-Oh organization's great fucking site, just or in any other place that we just get news and whatever. We don't have to wait for like official releases because they're late as fuck with those. But that's cool in the degree, but if you say my rose tinted nostalgia glasses, it would be nice to not know so much. Because when you know more, you can't necessarily enjoy it.
that is true. I do know what you mean. Like when you first start playing, you don't know like a lot about the game. It's just like an adventure. It's like, oh wow, this deck, like I could build this and I could build that, and you think about all these crazy concepts that are bad, but in your ignorant little mind, it's like, oh yeah, that seems exciting. I do miss that aspect of just like not knowing a whole lot.
Mhm.
I think that brings us to the end then, boys. It's been here for about an hour now, so we've had Mr. DPYGO here for you. If you like have not heard of him for whatever fucking stupid reason, I'll leave his channel link and stuff in the description, etc. And for those of you in the Twitch chat, thanks for coming out and joining us. And it's quite a whole lot of you here. Damn, it's like almost as much as we had last time. But yeah, if you missed any of this or came halfway through, I'm going to put this on YouTube tomorrow night because I have something scheduled for today. So make sure you check out the replay tomorrow. And that's about everything for us. Make sure you help Drew with that motherfucking De Niro.
Well, see, I don't even have to say it. People already know.
I've always wanted to say that. I think I said it once in a video actually. But yeah, do you have any closing statements or final comments to make?
Not really, but I'll say this. For those that do know me and have been around for a while, I do appreciate y'all sticking around. I've been a bit of an ass. I've been, I'm glad that those have stuck around, watched me for the years, have seen me grow and mature, because I think I'm matured enough. But I'm glad that y'all are around, and whoever still clips ads, I hope y'all still do that. And I just appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for being. Hey, I gotta keep it real. That's just,
Yeah, of course.
I'm honest. I'm honest, but I appreciate y'all, even though I'm not vocal about it. I do appreciate y'all.
Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we're signing out.